Hey guys, how's it going? So today's review is going to be on the Yoyofactory Edge. So I actually had the pleasure of seeing this yo-yo in its prototyping phases, and basically Evan and I, talked a little bit about it, and if you've ever wondered where the name came from, I actually helped name the yo-yo. So yeah, the name Yoyofactory Edge, that came from me. Anyway, Evan has been like tearing it up on the yo-yo scene this year. He won PNWR, he came, second at a couple of regional contests, and he actually came fourth at the US national contest, so this yo-yo has been pretty widely used. So let's get down to the review. Okay, so here is a look at the Yoyofactory Edge. In terms of construction, it has a 6061 aluminium body, and it's got these two stainless steel weight rings basically on the edge there. One cool thing I'd like to mention about the Edge is that it's got the laser engravings right on the rims here, as opposed to on the face of the yo-yo where it'll interfere with finger grinds. So I thought this was like a really neat kind of laser engraving, especially because it looks really different, really unique, and also pretty premium. So the Edge comes stock with these red CBC silicone pads, a 10mm axle, and a center track bearing. As most of you have undoubtedly noticed, it's a bimetal yo-yo. It has a diameter of 55mm, it has a width of 46.76mm, it has a gap width of 4.5mm, it weighs about 65.2 grams, it's a size C bearing, and that's generally all you need to know about its general specifications. So, if we're taking a look at the Edge in terms of playability, the first thing I've noticed that even though it's a bimetal, the Edge has I would call a very neutral weight distribution. So the weight feels very evenly distributed, and it almost feels like a floaty kind of yo-yo. For those of you who aren't familiar with that term, floaty means it just generally feels very light and flows very quickly or very easily across the strings. So this allows for speedy tricks, fast-paced horizontal kind of tricks, very versatile weight distribution. The next thing is that the Yoyofactory Edge is quite wide. So here it is compared to a Zephyr, and it's just, I'd say, about 2mm wider than that. And here it is compared to a Yoyofactory Shutter, and I'd say it is also about a millimeter, maybe 2mm wider than that. Evan was famous for using a yo-yo called the Yoyofactory Monster, which is a super wide yo-yo. I don't actually have one of those, but the Edge, even though it's not with that super wide dimension, is slightly wider than normal. And therefore the Edge's width makes it really easy to catch, and it's definitely a yo-yo that you'd use if you have, accuracy problems, or you just want something that's super easy to catch, or easier to catch than normal. So it's a really nice, wide, and accommodating shape when you play with it. And the last thing, and I know I say this for a lot of Yoyofactory yo-yos, but because it's so wide, the weight distribution is very neutral. It's a very versatile yo-yo. So this yo-yo can really handle anything you throw at it. It doesn't particularly excel at anything in particular. That being said, it can play a lot of styles very well. And I think that was what Evan was really going for. When I spoke to him about the design of the yo-yo, he wanted a yo-yo that could basically do every style, because he wanted to do a very diverse and variety driven kind of freestyle. So he needed a yo-yo that was capable of doing basically all those kinds of tricks, and well, what he came up with was the Edge. One con that I would find with the Yoyofactory Edge is that while I was initially playing with it, it took me a little bit of getting used to. The weight distribution, even though it's versatile, is quite unusual for most players. And the second thing I'll notice is that sometimes when I throw it around, because even though it's a bimetal, I feel as if it could have a little bit more rim weight in some areas that would boost its spin time a little bit. But other than that, the yo-yo is very competitive. Other than the generally short spin time and unusual weight distribution at first. So, my final thoughts on the Edge. The Edge is actually a very interesting yo-yo built on the premise of versatility. So, as you can see from a lot of Evan's freestyles, he does a lot of really cool tricks, and they don't really follow a general theme. So with some players you can say they're a fast player, with other players you can say they're a technical player, but Evan can do both. He can play fast, he can play technical, he can play a lot of bangers, so he needs a yo-yo that's very, very diverse and basically can handle a variety of tricks. I think Yoyofactory have done really well with the design of the yo-yo, and it's, you know, just as they said, very, very versatile and very, very accommodating. My only gripes with the yo-yo is that compared to most yo-yos, the weight distribution is unusual and generally it lacks spin time. Also, because I know Christmas is coming up and you guys are probably going to be interested in this as it's a super popular yo-yo for 2016, it's currently stocked at Yo-Yo Expert, so if you're interested in it, I've included some links down below and you can go ahead and click on those and buy the Yoyofactory Edge. I believe it's about $99 US, but yeah, only click it if you're interested. And yeah, that's it for me. So, any comments, questions, criticisms, post them down below, and I will see you guys next time.